Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel where we love to talk about movies. Welcome especially if you're new. Today we're going to talk about Chevalier. And so in this, we're just going to dive on in. This will be a spoiler type review, but so be warned. But in this movie, based on the true story of composer Joseph Bologna, Chevalier de Saint George, if I'm saying that properly, the illegitimate son of an African slave and a French plantation owner who rises to heights in French society as a composer before an ill-fated love affair. So yeah, this will be spoiler warning if you haven't seen it yet. Just overall, I thought this was a great film. I really liked it. I give it a letter grade of an A. I think it could be better. It's maybe a little soap opera E, and that might kind of make the quality look a little bit lower in some people's minds. But I don't know. I really liked it. And I think it's definitely worth the watch. I think it's a very important story that is great that it's being told through the medium of film. So. I think my favorite part though was the music and the soundtrack. I think they were just they really kept you in the film and kind of were yeah, I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it fit very well. Like I said, I think it's maybe a little bit soap opera-y, but I did like that aspect of it. And yeah, I think it's great that we're getting to see the story of a black composer who's like been erased from history basically. I think the I've heard that people have like called him the Black Mozart because he's around Mozart's time, but he actually came before Mozart. Like he's older than Mozart, so we should really be calling Mozart the White Chevalier. And but we don't because we've whitewashed history at this point, and Mozart is held as the better one. Maybe Mozart is the better composer, but Chevalier was a contemporary, and I think had more that he did than just compose music. So I think it was really interesting seeing all the complexities of like the life he led for getting that high up in French society, especially not being born in France, and like just a lot of different things kind of going against him. He still climbs and gets high status and is in the room with a lot of the like higher ups in France. But it's interesting seeing him kind of balance that and like what comes with that. Do you enjoy your position and not really cause any waves, or do you use your position for influence where you can? And he goes about it in different ways as the movie plays out and as he kind of grows as a person. I thought that was kind of interesting. So yeah, that was I think yeah, the complexity is there, especially what France is going through at that time with the revolution. I thought was interesting. I thought it did a pretty good job depicting the French Revolution insofar as like it kind of showed you both sides. Like it did paint the monarchy sort of sympathetic. I think by the end it was much less sympathetic, but it's not. I don't think it like hits you over the head, and I think it depicts it as a very gray area, which yeah, it's I don't know. That would have been I think a very complex time to have to live in and to go through all of that. But yeah, I think one of the other big messages there comes from his mother, who's like, we always have a choice. And I thought her monologue there was really good. That's I think a very core part of the film that people can't take away your choice. And yeah, I think it's a really important message for people to know. But I think the saddest part for me in the film, there's a lot like the fact that his son was killed just after being born. That's absolutely heartbreaking. And I was surprised that he wasn't just straight up like murdered after that. Like the guy sent his guards after him when he had just put his wife in the opera, but like, yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised he didn't like have him hunt him down and kill him as well. But I thought the saddest part was when they pointed out right before the credits that like most of his work was destroyed by Napoleon or at the time of Napoleon. And yeah, I think that's really sad as somebody who yeah, I'm very much into music. I've listened to a lot of classical music. I like to think that I'm familiar with a good number of composers, but like this is a composer I'd never even heard of before this movie, and I think that's really sad that somebody as accomplished, and yeah, like somebody as good at music as him just kind of gets erased from history is just really sad. And also, like, his music, even though like we can tell his story now, how much of his music is irrecoverable at this point because people didn't want his music to exist because he was black. I think it's really sad to think about, and I think even sadder given the context of like having seen something like the Banshees of Inisherin last year, where one of the characters in that movie is like focusing on making music because that's what lasts, and like I'll die someday, but what will live on is my music. And people have that mentality. I'm sure Chevalier thought that, but like how much of his music hasn't survived, and you're not guaranteed that, especially if society wants to whitewash history and erase you from it. And I think that's really sad. So yeah, the I thought overall though this movie was really good. It's one that I highly recommend. I think it was a very very interesting story. I'm curious to look up and see just how much of it is true. I'm assuming it is true, but I'm also wouldn't be surprised if they took some liberties with it being a film. But yeah, overall it was an interesting story, and one that I was happy is now put to film for people to go and see and learn about. So I think that's one of the beauties of film. So if you've had a chance to see it though, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. And with that, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.